Everyone, it's Ron, and I've actually composed myself from last night seeing the preview of Wicked, the movie, in IMAX, and it really has affected me. I know that sounds so cheesy, but it really has. So, talk about how this movie separates itself from other blockbusters and epic, iconic movies. I'm going to tell you how it separates itself from other musical to movie adaptations that have come before it, almost all of them. The performers, the creative team, and then the chances of Oscar. Lead. This is an epic, amazing, magnificent, emotional, engaging, relevant piece of art that will live on. It is one of my favorite movies already of all time, and it's really saying something that I've connected with it so strongly. And I think a lot of other people are too. So what separates itself from other epic blockbuster movies? So we're so used to CGI, right? Like most of the movie is actually created post production. So you don't have everyone in the same room, doing the same. You have other people doing it. You don't have the people. Everyone isn't in on telling the exact same story, right? And I think we've all gotten used to that, sadly. But what John M. Chu did with this is he said, I'm going to pay an homage to the 1939 Wizard of Oz, and I'm also going to immerse all the viewers and the performers into an actual world. This world, I'm going to create that. So he built everything from ground up. Very, very little CGI was used, except for the flying monkeys in this movie. So when you see Galinda coming in for the first time to Shiz, and she's on her boat, that's an actual river they built and an actual life-size boat that they built to actually float on the river. Okay, when you see Jonathan Bailey and everyone, the whole company dancing and dancing through life, they're in the library and it has this huge circular architectural structure right? And it looks like it would be totally CGI, but they actually created this thing so they could actually dance on the, I mean, so everything that they touch, that they smell, that they interact with, is real. And it was, someone said that if you go to Munchkinland, you can go to the chocolatier shop, and on the counter are menus that have every 5 pages in them, and they all list all the different products that they have to sell. That menu will never be seen on camera. It's not part of the plot line, nothing. But the point is that from costume to set design to choreography to sound, lighting, score, performers, everyone was part of telling the same story, right? It was very clear that everyone on board knew, one, they loved the musical and they loved Wizard of Oz, so they wanted to be very respectful of that. But two, that they were all knew exactly what the vision was for this, and they all knew exactly what the story they wanted to tell was. The stage musical, which is about the Wicked Witch of the West and Glinda the Good Witch, before Dorothy drops in, right, when they were friends at Shiz. It's about acceptance. It's about friendship. It's about authoritarianism. It's about um, silencing a certain group of people or animals, so other people can be empowered by that, right? Like this thing hits very close to home for our country right now, right? So that's probably what adds to the emotional component of it, but it's also adds to the relevance of this movie. What separates it from other musical or movie to musical or musical to movie adaptations, easy for me to say, able to walk the line of being able to follow and be true to the stage musical storyline, right? But adding depth to the characters, adding extending the score, and they're all very purposeful in why they were added. Unlike Rent, when it was turned into a movie, which it was just too much like the state, like they just try to be too true to it, and you can't. What's on the stage doesn't translate to the silver screen. I mean, Cats is a perfect example of. Let's talk about the performances. Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. When Ariana was announced, I was super hesitant, right? But let me tell you this, and I don't know if you saw her on Saturday Night Live, but she's very, very talented, and she's a comedic actress, and her timing, her presence, her emotionality, her humanity, her um, love of the character is all on the screen. You can see it. She is so good in this. She is funny. She is tender. She is strong. She's confused. And Galinda is a very easy character to play as a caricature, right? The ditzy blonde. But Ariana plays it like she's in on the joke. So she knows, look, this is my role. This is the role I'm going to play. And I'm going to play this. Okay, so I'm happy to do it. And but she makes that character so believable and so human that you see her evolution. So the thing that was a little tricky with the stage production is that the two leads go from like total loathing enemies to best of friends like really quickly. Well, this one is much more realistic. It's much more of an organic evolution of their friendship. And I gotta tell you, I cried 4 times, or 4 or 5 times, and the one time that I cried like snot all over, like just gross, like I'm sorry, 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 right, cry, was when Galinda gives Elphaba the hat that she hates just to humiliate her at the Ozdas ballroom. And Elphaba shows up and everyone's laughing and and on Cynthia Erivo's face, she's one of those actors that can have 15 different emotions going on her face without ever moving a muscle. When she's on screen, you can't look at anyone else. She is captivating. And it was the most quiet the audience was the entire time. I mean, you could have heard a pin drop during this scene. And then when Elphaba comes in with her weird dance and all that stuff, then Galinda comes in and she starts, shadowing her. It is heartbreaking and loving and so sweet. And there's hardly any music playing. I mean, it's just brilliance, and that is due to John M. Shu, and it's due to those two women who are so talented. The dancing through life is unreal. I mean, Jonathan Bailey they call him a triple threat. I say he's a quadruple threat because he's also hot, H-O-T. Great dancing, great singing. He's so charming, but he doesn't play him as a one-dimensional character at all. You see his evolution as well, and the guy can dance, and he's moving, he's sexy. Oof, good casting there. Everyone else is great too. Jeff Goldblum is really amazing. Like, you forget what a great actor he is. And then, you know, Michelle, come on, as Madame Morrible, she's a little bit softer, but she inserts, kind of the sting every once in a while, especially against Galinda. And by the end, she's just all you want her to be. The only really negative is probably Kiala Settle. She played the bearded woman in Greatest Showman and saying, "This is me." And they created a character specifically for her, Mrs. Coddle, that's not in any of the books or the movie or the stage production. And she's just wasted. Maybe she has a bigger role in part two. Let's hope. Otherwise, everyone is spot on. I mean, everyone is spot on and so talented and so in it. Creative team. So they have, obviously John M. Shu, and he's going to get a Oscar nomination for sure. Nathan Crowley did the set design, just incredible, and a candy store of visuals and textures. It's great as well. Did the costumes, fantastic. John Powell and Stephen Schwartz did the score, which is so good. And Stephen Schwartz actually, did the original music to it, and he also does a little cameo. He does the Wizard will see you now, that role. And then Simon Hayes does the sound, and they all sing live as much as possible. And I hated Les Mis when they sing live, because when they sang it sounded different than when they talked, and you never felt that just overwhelming emotional roller coaster that you feel when you're watching it live, right? Well, the sound is amazing, and it allows the actors to be talking and then go really naturally into the songs. It also allows them to be more spontaneous when they're making acting choices on the fly. On the fly. So that and all their singing voices are just unbelievable. Ariana Grande's operatic, head voice is just so crisp and clear and amazing, and Cynthia Erivo has just so much power and emotion to it. Cynthia Erivo deserves an Oscar, and the way that they did this was they submitted Cynthia for Best Actress, and they submitted Ari for Best Supporting Actress. And a lot of people are going to be like, "What? They're equal." It's the best thing for them because Ari has a better chance of getting a supporting actress than she does an actress on her first big epic movie, and then they won't have to fight for the same votes. So hopefully, when the Oscars are announced, it's going to be a clean sweep as far as Wicked Part One goes. And so the last thing I'm going to say is Defying Gravity. So that's the last number before intermission in the stage production. Okay, and you forget that in the stage production, she flies and she's supposed to be flying it in the air, and flying monkeys supposed to be everywhere, and guards are and it's just very very dramatic and lots of stress and very tense, right? Well, they just blow this out, and again, very little CGI, but they shot instead of shooting Cynthia in front of a green screen, like flipping over her, broom. They got a huge hanger, and they put um, a harness on her and cables, and flew her all over the place, and then shot her as she was literally flying around and singing live. By the way, hello, Pink. It's unlike, I don't know if you saw Annie or not, but like the movie. But at the end, it was so stupid. Like Annie was like trapped like on a wrecking ball, and she was gonna be fall off of it. And this Indian guy takes his turban and he unwraps the cloth, and he's in a helicopter and he's hovering over her. And he drops the cloth. It's so stupid. It's like they tried to make an action. Someone said, "Oh, it needs to have more action in it," and just added it. It was so stupid. This is so relevant. It is so impactful. The last Defying Gravity is 15 minutes, and it's so satisfying when it ends that even if there weren't a part two, we would I would be satisfied with the ending of this. And Cynthia Erivo deserves all the credit for how amazing that is. It was just an absolute privilege to watch this, and I can't wait to see it again. If you like musicals, go see this. If you like Wizard of Oz, go see this. If you like Wicked, go see this. If you just like great movie making, go see this. Go see this movie. It's awesome, and I cannot wait till part two. And just remember, be good, do good. Happy holidays.